Just letting you know this is only my spoiler first impressions of the episode. Check my pinned comment for a free gift related to this video. And to watch my unfiltered reactions with exclusive bonuses, join my Asha Media TV Club. The link is in the description box below. Now, here's my afterthoughts of this episode of Fringe.
Very unclear about their surveillance strategies of the universe. Oh my god! Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start with this one. Okay, well, as I've been doing in the previous videos, start from the beginning, work my way down. That's actually quite helpful for me. It's too bad I didn't do that from the very beginning, actually. But, you know, evolution of the process. Okay. I'll start off by saying this is on my top 10 I've been making of favorite episodes of the series so far. It is just phenomenal with everything, right? You've got this. Okay. I don't want to get carried away. So maybe as I start from the beginning, I'll be able to summarize what I was about to say, just because it just feels more. I just want to be more organized with how I do things nowadays. Okay. So we have the beginning a bit here. Introduction to this villainish type. He's not a villain, but this person who wants to save others in his own way that just leads up to the death of these people. And if I'm going to take his word for it and take what this episode has described in him having the calculations correct as to these people dying a certain way, and he's trying to give them his form of salvation, I guess, then looking back now in this moment of retrospection, right after the episode, it's understandable. His actions are understandable. Now, the motivations coming from his childhood trauma with his mother, oh my goodness. I mean, that in its own self is its own commentary. I'm not a parent, but if you are a parent, all I know is I've had my experience with a parental situation, not like that, thank goodness, but where it is a very, what's the best way to put it? It's a very impactful experience when there is that sense of competition with a sibling for the favor of a parent under certain given circumstances. And it can shape a lot of your ambition in life. It can shape, as we've seen here touched with Astrid, it shapes the insecurity, unfortunately, that develops it even more so if you're not self-aware to what degree it's affecting you and the choices you make in life. Before you know it, you actually almost find yourself similar to this guy, where you're almost doing everything based on that moment in time where it's revealed where you felt like you weren't enough, you weren't good enough for that parent. Anyways, there's so much touched on with that because you've got Peter and Walter situation there, you've got Astrid and her father, but how they've kind of merged three of these characters experiencing that in their own way to some level with their parental figure. It's interesting. Although for Peter, though, there wasn't much verbalization on his end in this episode. If anything, it was more Walter coming to terms with his feelings for that Peter there through his conversation with Astrid. So the premise of this episode, I guess that's my point really, with this guy, it's very, 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 very intriguing and very much a rewatch worthy. That's why it's on my top 10 right now. It's definitely going to be one of the main episodes I'll look back on. Okay, now let me now tie in just why even more so this is such a wonderful episode. And that's because of the creative team's amazing build-up and care about how and when the right opportune time, I guess, at this point in the series, 4th season in, you then give me as a viewer a payoff to understanding just a bit more the Astrid character. From season 1, I've been told, be patient, Asha. This is a character that the revelation of her life, and now we know with the alternate version as well, it's going to be a very beautiful moment when that episode comes along. And I honestly kind of forgot that they would even probably bother until recent episodes in this season where I'm like, okay, alternates are interacting with their alternates, so all the more so this is just a gift of like, wow, everything I would want to know, but I kind of still want to know more, but still, we know enough, I think, to get a much better picture of Astrid in Blueverse, Primeverse Astrid, and then having it so beautifully tied in Jessica Nicole's performance of alternate, or I'll just say alt Astrid. Oh God, it's just phenomenal, phenomenal. I'm gonna get emotional talking too much about it just because it hits home on so many levels, but at the same time, I'm now understanding. They didn't classify it by name, but her condition. I mean, I'm saying form of autism, but I'm thinking of. I don't remember the term, but I thought of the Sherlock episodes there with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's kind of what they claim he has. In the moment, I cannot remember the term, and it's probably on the screen there for you if I go and look it up afterwards. But the reason why I don't want to type in anything about it is because it has to be specifically, and there's variations, right? So it has to be specifically to this character. So I don't want to accidentally get into spoilers. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. You just put it in the comment section if it's known or if it's ever mentioned in the show what form of, or if it is even autism. I think it is, because like I said in the previous reaction video, they did say that Jessica modeled her performance off of someone with a form of autism. So if there's a specific term for her type, I feel like it's something it's at the tip of my tongue and I can't. It's not a world I'm familiar with. So I'll leave it up to you to break that down. Okay, let me move a little forward here. Yeah, so it's a given. The story of the episode, loved it. The whole thing with Astrid meeting Astrid. And Walter, I have to put that in there, it's just an extra thing there, where now I'm starting to think that when Walter calls her by a different name, his Astrid, I think some of it is intentional, perhaps, because when he knows not to call the other one from any other name but her actual name, he knows it, right? So I think it's because this Astrid allows the leeway of it, and that's their thing, and that's for us too, entertainment purposes. You don't know what he's gonna say next. We've had Astrid, Astro, astronaut. I think did we have astronaut? I could swear we had astronaut. We had something. All these different variations of her, of the letter A. So I think that is for comedic purposes too. But I just like the fact how they made it quite clear he ain't doing that with this Astrid. Okay, let's move forward here. There's something with Peter I wanted to touch on. Did that get tied in with the observers? Yeah, it was never mind. It wasn't Peter. It was the observers. So that's kind of where I'm going to conclude things here with my afterthoughts. I think I'm now catching on. Now, mind you, I haven't read any comments to the questions I had in my previous reactions at this point in time that I'm recording this. So when I go back eventually and look at those comments, hopefully it'll match up for me having, I think, slightly clearer understanding now. If this guy was able to mathematically figure out past, future, and present to the degree where he had the ability to predict his own mother's words, and this is a past, it fits in line with then the observers not only being in a future, it's like they're reflections of what could be for men, because we haven't seen any women observers. So really smart people could become like them in the future. Well, I wouldn't say really smart people. No, because we had that episode with I can't remember the name, but the guy who could see time, the whole thing with the time, and he wasn't. He was born with he was mentally regressed at that time. And okay, either way, there's an evolution of behavior of humanity that I think maybe they represent. I think that was a given anyway, and I had mentioned that before. It's just understanding the time thingy aspect. I think I'm just gonna have to surrender that if I don't understand it, I just don't understand it, and just take it for what I can understand as I go. And it's all from that little thingy that September had. And he dropped, of course, and that guy found it. Raiden Lake, Raiden Lake. Alright, so aside from then towards the end where, you know, boss observer, that's all I'm calling him, he wasn't aware that, I mean, up until that point, he's not aware that Peter came back, and Peter's been around there for quite some time. I mean, I haven't paid attention to the lapse of time. I can't remember. I think they did mention it, right? It's been a few months. I don't know. But anyway, I'm surprised. I guess he's so busy governing and supervising all the observers, he hasn't caught on to one of the biggest mistakes that hasn't been erased fully. I can't help but find that kind of funny. I don't know. I don't know if that's just a weakness with the writing, but I'll let you justify it, okay? If it's justifiable. But anyway, Ashamoji wise, because I realized I remembered I haven't even mentioned Ashamojis out loud in my previous reaction videos. So when that happens, people, I put it at the bottom of the screen at some point in my edit. But Ashamoji wise, I give this an absolute 5 Ashamojis. It is. There you have it. Those are my afterthoughts about episode 11 of the 4th season of Fringe. If you want early access to my reactions to Fringe, uncut, unfiltered, with extra commentary I share only with club members, details on joining my club is in the description box below. Alright people, I'm going to hit play on episode 12, so I will see you in the next video all about that. Peace out!
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.